Welcome in and welcome back. I got a story for you, but I will be enjoying what it looks like is a Mountain Dew Major Melon. You see that there? Mountain Dew Major Melon. What I want to know is what kind of melon? Is it watermelon? Is it sour melon? Is it muskmelon? Is it zucchini? Zucchini and cucumbers, they're melons, right? I think they're technically melons. They're on the melon tree vine, melon family vine. Um, I've always wondered about sour melons. Are sour melons actually a thing? I've never dated a woman with sour melons, but I dated a sour woman who had melons. The story I want to talk about, this has Pepcoin involved. Code under cap, enter and see rules on pepcoin.com. The story I want to talk about is how I accidentally graduated from community college, how I accidentally got my associate's degree. I was expecting that to be much better than it is. The aftertaste isn't bad. That's surprising, as it is a zero sugar soda. Um, Accidentally got my associate's degree. So to tell you that story, I think I've got to go all the way back to my childhood. Surprise! I don't know if you would have guessed this, but I was always a weird kid. A little bit of a weirdo, a strange kid. A loner. And one of the only goals that I knew I had for life was going to college. I didn't know how, I didn't know where, I didn't know why, I didn't know what for, but I wanted to go to college. One of the main reasons, I realized much later in life, I didn't know this at the time, but upon reflection, I realized one of the reasons that I wanted to go to college was because people like me didn't go to college. People from where I'm from don't go to college. Would have been the first person in my family to go to college. No one knew anything about it. And this was before the days of the internet. The internet was in its infancy in these days, and the growth of the internet has been parabolic. So this was 2004 was when I got out of high school. So you didn't just get online and figure out how to go to college. You kind of had to know somebody. In the high school I went to, none of the teachers were really particularly preparing kids for college. And the, what are they called? Counselors, which from what I understand from other people, many places, high school counselors help prep people for college, help you send out applications and whatnot. At my high school, what the counselors were doing was basically coordinating students' AA night or their drug addiction hotline calls. That's where I went to high school. So the pickings were slim, but I decided very early on I was going to use football as my vehicle to get to college. Now, 5'7", I am not an athlete, not particularly good at anything, but I've always had a work ethic. So I figured, hey, this is what I'll do. I will work my ass off and get a scholarship to play the least athletic position on the field. Maybe I'll be a fullback. You know, I could not grow my way at 5'7" into an offensive guard, but if I could, I would have done that. I graduated high school the summer before my senior year. I was bench pressing 320 pounds. Not an athletic lift, but one that you can get better at with hard work. I was hang clinging some god-awful amount. There was this new squat machine. I was leg pressing just massive amounts of weight. Still wasn't an athlete. So I sucked at football. So I didn't start going into my senior year. So football being my vehicle to get to college, not going to do that if you're not a starter. I quit. I quit football and got a job. My senior year in high school, I was essentially working full-time hours. I was working in a retail establishment that was open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturdays, and I was working 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. On Sundays, they were open 10 to 6, so I was working 10 to 6. 22 hours on the weekends, throw in 2 or 3 days a week. Not a whole lot of money because at the time, what was I making? $6.15 an hour, I believe it was. Not a whole lot of money, but I saved every penny I could. Every penny. And graduated high school. Look, I still didn't know how to apply to get to college. I didn't know how to take the SAT, the ACT, the MEP, the IMP, the LIMP, the TSLA, any of it. I didn't know how to take any of those tests. Never knew when they were enrolling for them, none of it. So my only option really was community college. I still haven't taken an ACT or an SAT. Still, to this day, I've got a fucking master's degree. Never taken one of those tests. So, was going to go to community college. Anyone who's been to community college knows and understands that community college is a money trap. Essentially, all higher education is a money drain scheme. Even the ones that send you straight into a career. Because guess what? You're paying for that degree for a very long time. Ask your corner pharmacist. Ask your physician. How long will you be paying off your student loans? Ask them. Go ahead. I dare you. I double dare you. They're not going to like you anymore. But community college is especially egregious. And let me tell you how and why. In community college, what they do every semester, every second semester, maybe every third semester. Now, an associate's degree, 4 semesters of full-time classes. But you're in community college. Odds are you're in community college because you can't afford to go to university. So you probably can't afford to take full-time hours, can you, jackass? So there you are. You will have to stretch a 2-year degree into 2.5, 3 years, 3.5. They know that. Because they know that, every 2 semesters, every 3 semesters, they change up the requirements for what it means to graduate. No. You have to have 4 math credits. You have to have a foreign language. You have to have home economics, maybe it is, huh? You have to have a speech class. Everyone has to take speech, don't you know? No one keeps track of these syllabi. So, you're there a few semesters and they change requirements. No, you only have to meet the requirements that were there in place when you enrolled for your first semester. That's how you can graduate. Unfortunately, we don't happen to have any of those laying around. No one remembers what those requirements were. Now, I had, when I graduated high school, a pretty good deal of money because, like I said, worked basically full-time hours, didn't spend a goddamn dime. I moved out after high school, and rent drains that money real fast. But the summer after my senior year in high school, I went ahead and worked hard enough that I got a promotion. So I could afford, essentially, to live on my own. I had a roommate, but you know what I mean. Live out. 19 years old, paying rent, yada yada. I could essentially afford that. Not quite. Not living well at all. Not living well. But I could not afford that and going to college. So that little nest egg that I had built for myself goes pretty fast when you're talking about $2,000+ per semester for community college. Goes really quick. Plus, I was an idiot, and I thought I was in love with a woman, and she was going to college too, and she was a bum. Maybe, allegedly. So she would often come to me to help pay for her college, and I did it. I'm an idiot. I was an idiot. I've learned, moved on, can't trust anyone. What do you do? You live and you learn. This isn't bad. It's not terrible. Uh-oh. Phenylketonurics contains phenylalanine. What is it with Mountain Dew and phenylalanine? It's Paul Allen's brother. So, that nest egg goes real quick. To where I had to start working 2 jobs to afford to go to college. Working 2 jobs to afford to go to college, you don't really have all that much time to take the classes. So strings it out. Strings it along. And all of a sudden, the syllabus changes. Oh, I don't remember what the requirements were when you enrolled for your very first semester here. But they're different now. You don't remember what they were either? Well, it looks like you'll have to take this class, and it looks like you'll have to take that class, and it looks like you'll have to do this, and do that, and do this. So you do. Now, I was getting long in the tooth. Long in the tooth. Here we are. I'm 20, 21, 22. And life's kicking my ass. Because I got that initial promotion coming out of high school. And I didn't get any more. So I'm working 2 jobs, which strings you out. And you perform worse at work. And you take fewer classes. And you get worse grades. And you don't focus on your studies. And you certainly don't focus on what it is you want to do with your life. I'm getting desperate. 21 turns into 22. 22 turns into 23. And I don't know what I'm doing. I keep going back, and no one knows. The advisors at community colleges are the most worthless life forms on the planet. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what you're doing. You show up, and there they are in their office. You needed to enroll, huh? Go to the computer. We got a computer for you. Somewhere between me graduating high school and me being lost in community college, computers became a thing. So now they just sit you in front of a computer without a syllabus that tells you what you need to take, and they tell you to enroll. They just tell you to. Go ahead. No, go enroll. Go enroll. You're an advisor. Do your fucking advising. But you can't say that because it's polite company. And you don't know the words at this point, right? It's taken you 3 years, 4 years to get a 2-year degree. You feel like an idiot anyway. So you get pissed off every time you got to go in. I'm saying you, but it's me. I get pissed off every time I got to go in. And they sit me in front of a computer. So I just get pissed off and enroll in something that I think I have to take. So I don't know what I've got to take. But I've taken an awful lot of electives. And I figure it's probably not that anymore. Probably I've taken all the electives I need to have. Probably it's a math. Probably it's a science class. So I sit there. I don't know. They've got these trees of classes. You've seen them. You've got these selections of trees, these selections of classes. This branch is a math class that you need for a 200 plus level. Well, I haven't taken any of those sons of bitches. So I figured one of those. So I signed up for accounting because I figured that's applicable. Work intensive. No one seems to like it. But it's probably at least something that I could use in daily life. I signed up for some math class, or science class. Can't remember which one even. And then I signed up for some elective. I don't remember what it was. And if you've been to college, you understand what a money drain they are. But the biggest money pit in the whole organization, the whole thing, the most egregious waste of money is your books. Little pamphlet, looks like it's this big, costs $150. Awful waste of money. So my friend at the time, only friend in the world basically at this point, because all I do is work and go to school. She tells me, she says, "Hey, why don't you buy your books online?" I've never bought them online. I don't trust online. I don't trust the mail. I don't trust the internet. I don't trust anybody. I didn't have the money for these books. Didn't have the money for them. Check online, they're like 80% cheaper. So I say, "Hey, I've never bought books online." She says, "It's okay. Trust me," she says. "Trust me." I say, "Okay." So she helps me order them. Supposed to be there the week before classes start. And I say, "Hey, that's cutting it awful close." "Trust me," she says. "Trust me." So I trust her. And I trust the internet. And I trust the internet connecting to my bank. And I trust the mail service. And every son of a bitch in between. I trust them. Trust. Week before class gets there, I don't have these books. It's okay. The science one didn't seem all that important. The one for my elective, I'd taken elective classes and not had the books before. That accounting one seems pretty necessary. It's accounting. But I didn't have it. So I show up to class. Because class comes. Day of class starts, don't have the books. And my friend tells me it's okay. Sometimes it takes a little longer. This was before Amazon, right? I mean, nobody's getting mail overnight. Back in 2007, 2007-ish, 2008. Nobody's getting mail overnight. So I said, "Okay, I trust you." Class starts. First couple days of class. I'm taking notes like a son of a bitch because I don't have that book. So every day after class, every day there's homework. Every day. So there was a guy in the class that started Xeroxing the pages of the book for the assignment for me. I really appreciated that. That was awesome. If you're out there, guy, I don't remember who you are. I don't remember what you look like, but I appreciate it, and I remember your kindness to this day. Still, you're not going to Xerox the entire lesson plan. This same time frame in my life, let me tell you how bad things were. 2007, 2008, anyone who doesn't remember, those were bad times. Those were economic crunch times. Things were so bad. Companies were trying so hard to save money. One of the things they were doing for a short while, I don't know if people remember this, you used to be able to get your cleaning supplies without water in them. That's right, they were selling bottles, the spray bottles, and they would have a packet on the outside. So you would supply the water. That's how bad things had gotten. People were trying so hard to save money. Now, where you get the money savings between filling a bottle with water and actually putting the contents in a solid form in a little metallic baggie, I don't know where the savings come from, unless it's the travel weight. So you're able to ship that many more bottles for that much less gas, because gas, for anyone who doesn't remember, gas, $4.50 a gallon, was not an odd sight at the pump. So that's how bad things were. And I remember the one thing that I really used to do on a semi-regular basis was every other week or so, my mother and my little sister and I would get lunch at a place called Perkins. Now, Perkins, for anyone who's not familiar with a Perkins, it is what is known as a shitty little restaurant. It's not that bad. It's not Denny's. But, it's not the step up from Denny's. If this is Denny's and this is the step up, Perkins is like stubbing your toe on the step. That's where it's at. So we would get lunch every other week or so. It's all we could afford. And I remember I showed up and my mother showed up, but my little sister hadn't shown up yet. So I went to sit in the car with my mother. And she's sitting there, and I just remember this. She goes, I know that sound. I know that exasperated sigh. I know what that means. So I ask her what's wrong. Shouldn't have done it. Still wrenches my heart to this day. My mother was sitting there staring, blank face at the Perkins, and she goes, sometimes I just get so tired of life. That hurt. That hurt because I thought that was my line. And here's this wretched bitch stealing it from me. That hurts because you don't want to hear your mother say those words, right? You don't want to hear that sort of thing coming out of your mother's mouth. But these were hard times. And this was the time period. And I don't have this book for my class, and I can't afford to go buy another one. I don't have that money. Ain't got that scratch, baby. And I can't keep asking this guy to Xerox those pages. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out because here it is taking me 4 years, 5 years to get a 2-year degree. I've almost got a doctorate in associate degrees, right? I have a doctorate in associatism. And I'm feeling real down on myself because I'm working 2 jobs to get there. I'm working 3 jobs to get there. And I quit. All I ever wanted to do was go to college. Didn't even care what it was for. I just wanted a degree because I wasn't supposed to have one. Not from that class. It was not from the class of people that get degrees. And I'm freaking out on myself every night. Until I storm into the office the what's it called? The advisor's office. So why advisors need offices, I don't know, because they don't do a goddamn thing. The worst part, worse than that, and this is why community college is so expensive, even though it's community college is cheaper, man. It's so expensive because the advisors have secretaries. The advisors don't do anything. So they have to have full-time secretaries to tell you when you can and can't see someone who's going to tell you to get on a computer so they don't have to do anything. And it's all adding up in my head at this point. I'm going crazy because here I am working 2 jobs to constantly fall behind in life, constantly be behind bills, to show up and see one person who has a full-time job, probably $50K a year, telling me I can't see someone who's probably making $70K a year, who was going to tell me to sit on a computer and ask me why I came in to see them. So it's all adding up in my head, and I'm pissy. So I show up, and the secretary looks at me and she says, "How can I help you?" I said, "How can you help me?" "I want to graduate. I need to know what I need to take to graduate." I'm pissed off. I'm wearing it at this point because it's that kind of angry where you're angry at yourself, you're angry at your situation, and you're angry at the world in general. I'm angry at myself because I screwed up. I could have figured something out to get through this degree. I'm angry at the situation because, hey, that's a maddening situation. And I'm angry at the world in general because it shouldn't be that goddamn difficult. So I show up and I say, "I need to know what I need to graduate." "Well, didn't your advisor tell you?" "No. Last time I came in to see someone, you pointed me to a door in the corner, and the guy in there pointed me to a little computer. And I dropped this semester, so I don't have the classes for this semester. I need to know what I need to graduate." It's like that scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I need a fucking car right fucking now. 4 fucking wheels and a seat. I was that guy in that moment. And the lady, all the attitude in the world, right? All the attitude in the world. "What is your name?" So I'd give her my name, Adrian Fort. She types in her little computer and she looks up at the screen. "What was your name?" "Adrian Fort. F-O-R-T, comma, Adrian." She looks at me. "You graduated last semester." "I'm sorry? All you need to do is walk across the hall and pay $30 for your such and such fee, and you've got your associate's degree." "I'm sorry? You graduated last semester. So, not only did those sons of bitches not tell me that I had graduated when I graduated, they let me come in and sign up for more classes in order to graduate without telling me I'd already graduated. And then, not only did they not tell me I graduated, they let me come in and sign up for another semester without telling me that I had graduated, and then let me fill out the pink slip to quit those classes without telling me that I had graduated. So, that's the story of how I got my associate's degree. Sons of bitches.